Home sellers, scams are getting smarter, more convincing, and more targeted than ever. And the craziest part, they usually start with something that sounds like a real buyer is coming to you. We've sold over 2,500 homes, roughly 50 times more than the average realtor. And today, I'm going to walk you through the three biggest scams hitting home sellers in 2026 and how to shut them down instantly. This is how we do it. So stick around and I'll show you exactly how to protect yourself and your money from the scammers who think you're an easy target. Welcome to Talking Realty, the podcast for home sellers who want to make more money, save time, and avoid headaches. I'm Glen, realtor and founder of the Ohio Property Group, where we do the same things as traditional realtors, but instead of charging 6%, we charge a low, flat fee. So you keep a lot more money and you still get better results. Check out the free seller tools at talkingrealty.com. And if you love the show, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get to it. Home sellers, one of the many benefits of being statewide and handling hundreds and hundreds of home sales every year is that we get the privilege of spotting emerging trends long before our competitors because they're only doing, one or two deals a year. A little while back, we started receiving messages from relocating buyers asking us to work with them and their lawyer via Zoom. At first glance, it looked legit. It was polite. It was professional, maybe, a little bit of urgency around it, which rings true for buyers. But whether you want to call it getting old or spidey sense or whatever you want to say, I know in my gut that buyers don't talk like that. And I've been doing this for a long time and have read tens of thousands of initial messages from buyers, and something just smelled off about this one. But whatever. I forwarded it to the seller because this was one of our MLS only DIY sellers. So I don't really get hands on with those. I just forward it to them and let them take care of it. But then it happened again. 2 days later, three different people, different phone numbers, different area codes came at me with almost the exact same script. That's when it was confirmed. This is not a buyer. This is a script, and a script means more than likely it's a scam. And they've been circulating around the real estate world for years. So if it found me, it was just a matter of time before it gets to my sellers. So today, I decided to take a look at the three biggest scams targeting you, the home seller, so you know exactly how to spot them and then what to do when you see them. So let's start with scam number one, which is the one I just talked about, the relocating buyer with the lawyer, with the Zoom. And this one starts with a message. It came in by text and it sounded really too polished, frankly, and just weird, as I said. This could also show up as a voicemail, could also show up as an email. So just because they're coming to me by text doesn't mean these people won't get smarter and start to adapt. But it sounds kind of like this. Hi, we're relocating to, and then they give you a city or a specific address many times. That's what most of them do because we're still getting these almost every day. And we're looking for a reputable agent, and we want to coordinate via Zoom with our lawyer. Now, odds are if they're coming to you as a for sale by owner, or they're coming to you through your realtor, if you have a listing agent, it may sound a little bit different, but those are the main ones. We're relocating, we've got Zoom, and we've got a lawyer. So your radar should be going off if you see that. It's very formal language. So that's the first thing that threw me off. They didn't mention a budget. They didn't actually mention a city. They just mentioned a specific listing. And about half of them had nothing. It just said we're relocating. Didn't even say to Ohio. So no mention of a city, no mention of a particular neighborhood. They push the Zoom and they push the email links. And eventually they're going to try to send a fake offer or a malicious link to you. That's the end game for this scam. It's designed to trick you into clicking a link or downloading something or sharing private information. The way you shut this one down is very simple. 2 questions. You reply and ask what areas of Ohio or what neighborhoods in city are you considering? And what's your price range? What's your budget? So you're going to nail them down. I want you to tell me exactly where are you looking and what price range are you in? The second question, and I would do this anyway if a buyer approached me and wanted to see a house or wanted to talk about seeing the house, is we should always insist that we get some proof that they are who they are and that they've got the money. So we do this with a very gentle response, and we put it in most anytime we deal with an unrepresented buyer on one of our full service listings, which is the bulk of our listings. We always ask, would you mind emailing your pre-approval letter or your proof of funds if they're cash, so I know how to help you? Okay, sounds very innocuous, but when you put a reason, even a reason like I know how to help you, people are more likely to comply, especially if, here's the key, they're real. If they're fake, they're going to push you off. They're going to ignore the question. They're going to keep restating the same thing over and over. Like, oh, we're looking to relocate. We would like to work with you by Zoom. And our lawyer's going to they're just going to mash up the words and put them back out to you, hoping that you won't notice that they didn't answer your question. Don't fall for it. Hey folks, almost every seller I know has at least a few questions about the process, which is why we offer a totally free, no obligation, one-on-one strategy call for anyone with a property to sell in Ohio. On that call, we're going to help you plan your listing launch. We're going to nail down your price. We're going to make sure you're ready for offers and inspections and appraisals, and hopefully help you get a bidding war off the ground. Check the show notes, the YouTube comments, or just head over to talkingrealty.com and book your free call right now. Seriously, hit pause, go do it now, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's get you on the right track. All right, back to the show. Scam number 2 is the fake cash buyer overpayment scam. This one is deadly. It hits for sale by owners, but it's a little harder for them to push this through a realtor because we tend to involve reputable partners like banks and title companies and things like that. Whereas as a for sale by owner, this scammer may come to you directly with a deal that just, trips all your triggers. So they're purposely designed to go that route. So this is going to be someone who is a cash buyer. They're going to offer you full price, sight unseen. So this should be big radar number 1, especially if you've been on the market for a while. If this buyer rolls in always electronically, like they're not going to show up at your house, they're going to send you a text or an email that says, hey, I'm a cash buyer. I'm going to give you exactly what you're asking for. Maybe even they'll give you a little more. And then they're going to ask if they can send you a cashier's check for the earnest money. Okay. So mind you, you don't have a contract. You don't have anything nailed down. You don't have anything formally, but they want to quote unquote lock up the house. They're so excited. They can't believe they missed it. Just unbelievable. And they're going to stroke your ego. What a gorgeous house. All of these things to try to get you. This is all misdirection to try to take your eye off the ball that's headed right here between your eyes. That's where the ball is headed. And that ball is the scam where they take you out. So let's just say they get away with it. They get you the cashier's check and you deposit it. First of all, if you're in Ohio, please, for the love of your deed, contact me before you do any of this. I will help you. This is part of what we do. We help sellers who have found a buyer. We help them put the deal together, make it legal, make sure there are no surprises. All right, this is a mini tangent, but I just did a deal the other day where the buyer and seller, they had negotiated a deal with an agent and a buyer, and they came to us and said, hey, can you review this, put it on paper, and then get us through to closing? No problem. Do that all day, every day. When I reviewed that offer and sent it to the seller, it was, surprise, surprise, not what they were expecting. It was close, but there were some key differences between what the agent promised them in their text message conversation and what actually ended up on paper. So always great insurance. Get somebody in the boat who does this all day, every day, like yours truly and my team. All right. So they're going to offer you full price. They're going to send you a cashier's check. They're going to hope that you deposit and that it clears. Now, sounds too good to be true. You ready? And then the buyer is going to claim they accidentally sent too much money. Oh no, stop the madness. And they need you to refund the difference. So maybe the check is pending, but it hasn't actually hit your account, but they're going to start in. They know how to time this up. These people do this for a living. They're going to try to get you to send them some of that money back. And then guess what? Doggone it, that check didn't clear after all. So you're out the money and you have no recourse. You have no way to get this back. You can try to find them, try to sue them, but I promise you it probably won't be worth the calories. You're going to spend far more time and probably money and have a very low chance of success. So just don't. If this stuff starts coming to you, look, I'm not going to say that my sellers have never had a non-refundable deposit sent to them directly, because it's happened. It is the exception. Most of the time, the broker or the title company holds the deposit until closing. Unless the deal falls apart, then we have a whole episode on what to do with that. But if the check bounces later and you're out a bunch of money, there's nothing you can do about it. So here's what you do. Never accept a mailed in cashier's check. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. It's worth the money to get somebody else in the boat to help you, even if it's just to hold the earnest money, just to make sure everything's on the up and up. So make sure you've got a title company or a broker, somebody on hand to handle the earnest money. Don't do it yourself. Also, require proof of funds for the rest of the money. And when you get that proof of funds, run it down. That letter ostensibly was written by someone. Find that someone and then independently verify that they are who they say they are and that this letter is real. Because if you email whatever's on there, they probably have a fake email address and phone number on the letter, hoping that if you do check it out, which most people don't, that you're just going to get one of their friends who's going to go, oh, yeah, it's totally legit. Instead, Google the name of the person, see if they have a license, because all licensed mortgage people and bankers, that's public information, just like my license. You can Google, and in the state of Ohio, there's a website you can go and check on the status of everybody's license. All right, so do that. The other thing is check out the institution itself. Google them, get their phone number, and call them. Call them up. Hi, this is so-and-so. Do you have a John Brown working there, if that's the name on the letter? And may I speak with John Brown? And do you do this sort of thing? Is this letter yours? That's what you really want to know. Is this letter yours? Is this legit? All right. The other thing is make the buyer come and see the property. Just insist on it. Unless they build in some sort of walkthrough into the contract, which is my last thing, is you need a contract. Don't do these text email deals. They're not enforceable. There's nothing you can do if they go sideways. You're out, whatever you're out, and the trouble is yours. Anyway, if the buyer hasn't set foot in the house, if you can't check out that they are who they say they are, it's probably not real. And if you start asking these questions, real buyers will respond, just like the first scam. Real buyers respond to your questions in an intelligent way. Fake buyers and scammers will ghost you. They will ghost you or try to cloud the issue with other things. You can feel it in your gut. Trust your gut. Home sellers, this episode of Talking Realty is brought to you by our friends at Associates Title. This team is shaking things up by focusing on what truly matters, putting you, the customer, first. Whether you're buying or selling or investing, whether you're for sale by owner, whether you're working with a realtor, doesn't matter. They've got your back with incredible cost savings and the latest technology to streamline the process. Their secure online portal keeps everyone in the loop, from buyers and sellers to lenders to agents, all while keeping your data safe and communication crystal clear. If you're getting ready to make a move, don't underestimate the importance of having a great title company in your corner. Check them out today at associatestitleinc.com or call my friend Ryan Phillips at 614-419-2418. Remember, they're not just in Ohio, they're in a lot of states. So give them a call, but do not leave your title company choice to chance. And definitely don't let the buyer or their agent make that choice for you. All right, back to the show. All right, this last scam I'm going to cover today is actually not new, but it is still in the top 3 for 2026. This is the wire fraud, the title company impersonation scam. I can't even tell you how horrible this is. It's never happened to old Glen, but only because I had somebody very early in my career associate me with the horribleness of this situation. And ever since then, I've been crazy vigilant about making sure this never happens to my people. This is the most financially devastating scam of the 3. In fact, in all of real estate, probably for all time. The FBI estimates that nearly $1 billion is intercepted from home sellers every year with this stinking scam. Here's how it works. So the scammer, you've got a deal under contract and you've got a title company on board. All right, life is good. Well, then along the way, the scammer will hack into someone's email. It's going to be the buyer. It might be you, probably not. It might be the agent, or it might be the title company. They're going to watch the entire deal start to unfold because they're going to get access to this. Now, don't ask me how they do this, but with the money they're taking down on these scams every year, they can afford to do stuff that you and I can't even imagine. But trust me, it's happening. Then, as we near closing, they're going to send an email that looks exactly like it came from the title company. And it's going to say something along the lines of, here are the updated wiring instructions. The wiring instructions then go to a fraudulent account. So once the money is sent, it's gone. They're going to verify with the title company and you, and they're going to copy both of your looks, and they're going to fool you. And one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to intercept your wire when it comes in by fooling the title company with an email that looks like it's from you, or they're going to fool you by saying, hey, we need your updated wiring instructions. Well, I've already sent those in. No, that's okay. Send them again. We want to verify. Then you send them your wiring instructions and they time it up to suck that money out of your account. So either way, whether they steal it from the title company or from you, it's gone. It is gone, 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 and you will not get it back. So if you want to know how to fight this particular one, first of all, you need to stop using title companies that operate by email and text. I'm not saying they can't text and they can't email, but those should be alerts and non-sensitive information. In 2026, there are incredibly secure software programs like Qualia, which is used by our sponsor, Associates Title, just saying, that will keep your data safe. You just heard me pitch it a few seconds ago. That is how they do it. When you are uploading information that's of a sensitive nature to the title company through Qualia, only the person that is authorized to see it is going to see it. No one else in the deal is going to see it. And same with the buyer's information, with everybody else that's involved. All the sensitive data is completely and digitally compartmentalized. So just because the title company or the realtor or the lender says, it's fine, don't worry about it. We do this by email. We do it all the time. I just need you to send this to me, or I need you to quick reply. Don't fall for it. Doesn't mean you should do it. What that tells me is whoever is telling you that it's okay hasn't been burned yet. Once they do, they're going to become zealots, just like we are, because data security is no joke. Another way this happens is sloppy copying. When title companies and lenders operate entirely by email without Qualia, once the deal is, there are other versions of Qualia. It doesn't have to be Qualia. It's just some sort of secure thing. When you're dealing with the title company, you should have to log in to a secure portal and no one should be able to see your information. And the other big sloppiness here is, as I mentioned, is the copying of emails. People will copy me, and it happens several times a year. I get copied on a, we'll say, less than stellar title company rep who's sending out information I shouldn't have. I've seen buyer's social security numbers, birth dates. I've seen their bank account information, all stuff I want to burn as soon as I see it because I cannot believe this is happening. Now, I will assure you, when we see it, those title companies get blacklisted. Right? We do not deal with them until they upgrade their software, and not just upgrade. Some title companies have it, they just don't use it. They're too lazy or whatever. It's too the realtor complains or somebody complains. No, you want a title company that is insistent upon keeping your data safe, digitally secure. But for this scam, understand that once you give your wiring instructions to the title company, it doesn't change. They shouldn't be asking for updates. The only thing they might ask for is a phone call verification where you call them. And again, you should make sure it's a number you're familiar with. Don't accept a phone call from someone and you don't know who it is, saying, oh, I'm with the title company. I need to verify your wiring instructions. If that's the case, make them give you the numbers. Don't you give them the numbers. So then if it is your title company, fine, then go ahead and give them your title, go and give them the information if they haven't received it. But I do believe that if you're doing it through Qualia, you should never have to do it that way. You should have your own secure login. There should be a task inside the software that says, please verify how you wish to receive your funds. You can choose by check or you can choose by wire. If you choose by wire, the software magically opens up and you type in your bank account and your routing number, and then Bob's your uncle, you save it, and no one ever talks about it again. The money just magically shows up. If it's not that type of system, I got to say, I got serious reservations about who's doing business and how they're doing it. If you have questions, Google the title company number, get the public number, and call them directly. Okay? Don't respond to text messages or emails that say, hey, please call me with your wiring instructions, and it's a number baked inside. It'll happen. And it doesn't mean you can't call them. Just call the number that Google tells you is the number for that company. That'll save you. Never, ever, ever trust wiring changes that are emailed to you. Just don't do it. But at the end of the day, I need you to trust your gut, because all of these scams are preventable, but only if you know what to look for and you ask the right questions. So home sellers, the more digital the world gets, the smarter these scammers become. But the minute you know their playbook, their tricks just sort of go up in smoke. Get a trusted partner for every phase and then listen to them. Take their advice. So here are your 3 rules for the road. You ready? Real buyers provide a budget. They provide pre-approval proof or proof of funds. Real earnest money goes to a title company or a trust account and not to you. And real wiring instructions are verified by phone or uploaded through a secure portal. Never, ever by email or text. Follow those and you're going to eliminate 99% of the risk. You could also engage us in Ohio and we will make sure that bad things don't happen to you. All right, with that, I'm going to let you get back to your day. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you learned a little something or maybe had a little bit of fun. The Talking Realty podcast is brought to you by the Ohio Property Group, a family-owned company where we sell homes for a low, flat fee. If you've got a question, you've got a guest or a topic that you'd like to see in a future episode, I would love to hear from you. Just head to talkingrealty.com and say hello. Until next time, keep making smart moves in your real estate journey. For the Ohio Property Group, this is Glen signing off. And remember, you can sell it. We can help.